Greetings, everyone. Steelbooks. You know why I love them. I know a lot of people are really gaga over Steelbooks and just go out of their way to collect them and import them from all over the world just so they can have like everything in the universe in Steelbook. Yeah, I'm not quite so obsessive. I mean, Steelbooks do tend to cost more than the non-Steelbook editions of movies, so I tend to be kind of selective about which ones I get. Yeah, so anyway, picked up a couple of Steelbooks recently in the old Blu-ray collection, one of which is one that was actually part of the first wave of Canadian exclusive Steelbooks that you might have heard about a while back. There was quite a few in that first wave that I was interested in because I just thought they looked really snazzy, and I actually picked up most of them. Like most of the ones I had my eye on, such as the Kill Bill ones that you saw a while back, and Shaun of the Dead, and Hot Fuzz. Well, there was one or two others that I wanted to get my hands on, and waited a bit too long, and it was getting harder to find. Well, I lucked out and found it recently, and for a pretty decent price too. It was only like $20, which for Steelbooks isn't too bad. You know, you really don't want to pay much. You want to pay less. I was going to say, you really don't want to pay much less than that, but of course you do. You always want to pay less. Yeah, so it was not only the lowest price I had seen it for, but also getting hard to find because it was part of Wave 1, and I think they're on like Wave 3 or 4 at the time of this video. The other one was a more recent one, not particularly rare, a little bit on the pricey side, didn't really get much of a discount on this, it was about $30. But, you know, it was A, a movie that I hadn't seen yet and really wanted to see, and B, this Steelbook just looks so beautiful. I absolutely could not pass it up. I'm not usually one to pick something up simply on the basis of liking the packaging, but this one was just so freaking gorgeous, and I'm a big fan of the franchise that this is a part of, and just could not resist. Resistance was futile. No, it's not a Star Trek Steelbook. Well, let's head on over to the Blu-ray shelves and take a look at what Blu-ray Steelbooks we're going to be talking about today. So these are both on the stuff based on comic books shelf in the Blu-ray collection, which of course, as I think I mentioned in another edition, fills an entire shelf. Now, both of these aren't strictly based on comic books. One of them is. One of them is based on, well, technically it was originally a radio play, and then it was a TV series in the 60s, and then it was... And then over the course of all that, it's been comic books several times. So just, you know, I figured there's plenty of comics. We'll just put it on that shelf because it's the one that fits it more than anything else. So which two snazzy Steelbooks am I talking about? Well, this one. Oh. And hiding in the shadows over here. This one. Yeah, V for Vendetta, which is one I've been wanting for a long time, and the Green Hornet. I mean, come on, that is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And we're going to take a closer look at both of these today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Okay, so a couple of snazzy additions to the Steelbook collection. Let's start off with this one, which I thought was just beautiful. Normally, I don't go crazy for Steelbooks. I do like them, but I don't go out of my way to get like every single one out there. But once in a while, one will come along that just catches my eye, and I have to grab it based on just how beautiful it looks. So this one basically is very Black Beauty oriented, as you can see. Let me just take out the only insert in it is just an ad for the Sony 3D stuff. So this is not the 3D edition of Green Hornet either. It's just the regular 2D edition. So there we go. We got some nice Black Beauty there. So yeah, essentially, I picked this one up for a couple of reasons. First off, I had some extra money at the time. This was not cheap. This was about $30. This is, a deluxe Steelbook edition. It originally had this backing on it with a big bar of snot, which you can see left a big grease mark on it. So originally, it was on the case, kind of wrapped around, so on the back like that, then over the top, and then on the front like that. So nice thing being, you can take it off, and I know some collectors, such as Disc Junkie, don't care for the Blu-ray bar. So once you take the backing off, there is no Blu-ray bar to be seen. It's just the beautiful Black Beauty grill, and as you can probably tell, it is nicely embossed on there. Now, unfortunately, the super high gloss finish on this is actually a bit of a fingerprint magnet, but excuse me. So what I usually do with these backings is I just take them off very carefully and then I store them. I actually have at the moment I have a stack of them up on one of the, above the shelf above the anime shelf, you can see there. Yeah, I have just a big stack of these backings. Eventually I'll put them into some kind of file folder or something. So, a couple of things. You're probably wondering what I thought of the movie. I know that reviews were kind of mixed on this one. Overall, quite negatively received. Now, myself, I of course was a fan of the old '60s TV series, which was produced by the same producer who did the Batman series at the time. The interesting thing about the Green Hornet TV series, though, is it was not played campy like the Batman series was. It was done more serious, and of course had the wonderful Bruce Lee as Kato. One strong aspect of the movie, I think, was Kato. I thought Kato was fantastic in it. I mean, he was just super Kato, Great stuff. Well, before I get into that, let me just quickly go over the special features we got here. So we have awesome gag reel, filmmaker's commentary, The Black Beauty, Rebirth of Cool, and Writing the Green Hornet. And then exclusive Blu-ray extras, we have deleted scenes, the Green Hornet Cutting Room, Trust Me, director Michel Gondry, Finding Kato, The Stunt Family Armstrong, and The Art of Destruction. And then there's some BD Live stuff as well that they don't really specify. Yeah, so, I enjoyed the movie overall. I understand what they were going for. Seth Rogen has said on numerous occasions that basically they were kind of going for an Indiana Jones sort of thing, like an action-adventure with comedic elements to it. If I had one issue with it, it was just that Seth Rogen, I thought, played a little too much for laughs. The comedy, it wasn't as balanced as I think they intended it to be. And I think it kind of failed in that respect. It leaned more towards farce than it did towards action adventure. That said, I mean, there's some great set pieces in it. There's some great action and adventure moments in it. Black Beauty looks freaking amazing. Just beautiful, beautiful modernized version of Black Beauty. Great stuff. So yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was a fun movie. Not fantastic, but it was about what I expected it to be, and I didn't really have any major issues with it, other than they could have toned down the comedy aspects a little bit and got a little more balanced. But otherwise, I don't really have any major issues with it, and I can see why a lot of people didn't like it, but at the same time, I think some of the criticisms are a little overly harsh, and people aren't just kind of taking it for what it is. But whatever. I mean, I'm coming at this as a lifelong fan of Green Hornet. I have a lot of the comic books. I used to watch the show all the time. I've listened to some of their old radio shows. And yeah, so whatever. It is what it is. And then on top of that, so I mean, the couple reasons I got it were basically because the Steelbook is just beautiful, and I couldn't resist the beauty. And just to have as a nice display piece, and also because I hadn't seen the movie, and as a Green Hornet fan, I definitely wanted to check it out. So, yeah. So I'm sure we won't be getting a sequel, but you know, whatever. At least we got the first one as it is. So next up, we have one that I'd actually been looking for quite some time. V for Vendetta. Yes, you may recall, longtime viewers may remember, Annetta actually had the 2-disc DVD edition of this. And then I think she actually had the Steelbook Blu-ray for a while as well. She picked it up. Or maybe she just had the regular one. I don't remember. But anyway, this one is really nice. It's just this beautiful matte finish, not a fingerprint magnet at all. On the back, you just got the V logo. And then if we crack it open inside, there we go. So we got the, I think it's just the same disc that's in the regular non-Steelbook edition. And there we go. No inserts. I just have the army of everyone. Oh fuck, the internet is here. Yeah. I have to be careful closing this one. It's slightly misaligned. There we go. And is that right? No. Yeah, I got one that was a little bit warped, unfortunately. I'm hoping that, there we go. I'm hoping that leaving it on the shelf for very long periods of time will straighten it out. But anyway, so that's that. And then actually I'll show you we have the backing here. And the way it was originally on the case was like this, sort of. There. Limited edition Steelbook collection. This was one of the Canadian exclusive Steelbooks. I think it was part of wave 1 of them, which means it's gotten really scarce and hard to find. So I was really lucky to find this. It was only $20. I found it at one of the, actually I found it up here in Nanaimo, in one of the local London drugs. They had one left, so I snapped it up. So yeah, in terms of extras, as far as I'm aware, this is everything that was on the 2-disc DVD edition, just ported straight over to Blu-ray. So you have Director's Notebook, reimagining a cult classic for the 21st century. Director James McTeague, joined by stars Natalie Portman and Hugo Weaving and other creative members, traces in detail the V saga from graphic novel origin through the movie's execution. Plus other special features: Designing the Near Future, Remember, Guy Fawkes and the Gunpowder Plot, England Prevails, V for Vendetta and the New Wave in Comics, Freedom Forever, Making V for Vendetta, Saturday Night Live Digital Short, Cat Power Montage, and Theatrical Trailer. Now, as for what I thought of this movie, I thought it was fantastic, actually, and I say that as someone who is a big fan of the original graphic novel. I actually remember the original graphic novel when it first came out. Sort of when it first came out. But I know that originally when they started doing it, it was being serialized in like an anthology comic, but it was never completed. And then DC Comics picked it up, and the original creators were able to finish it finally. And then, of course, later it was published in trade paperback form, and there's now an absolute edition, which is like this big, oversized hardcover with all kinds of behind-the-scenes info and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just a great graphic novel. And as far as my feelings regarding the adaptation to movie form, I didn't agree with some of the changes they made. I definitely think Watchmen was a more faithful adaptation of an Alan Moore story, and kept a lot more of the core elements intact. Like with Watchmen, for example, the original story took place in 1985, so they set the movie in 1985. They just didn't change that. With V for Vendetta, they did change some things from the original graphic novel, but overall the core elements are intact, and I think it's pretty darn faithful overall, and I think it's just a fantastic movie, and one that I will enjoy for many years to come. Yeah, when I get a big screen, a proper big screen TV, that's definitely one I want to check out on it, because some of the visuals are quite spectacular. Um, yeah. So anyway, overall, between the two of these, this one's definitely the better film, hands down. Just loaded with social commentary, and I mean, Hugo Weaving is fantastic as V. Natalie Portman, I think, is great. I think this is definitely one of her better roles, and yeah, great stuff. So I was really happy to find the Steelbook edition. It was a bit of a mini holy grail for a while there, and it was nice to just kind of luck out and find that randomly at London Drugs. London Drugs isn't strictly a drugstore. It's kind of like one of those all-in-one stores that has a whole bunch of different stuff. I mean, it has a pharmacy section, obviously, but it's got like a photo lab, and it's got like a computers and DVDs section and stuff like that. So it's got kind of a little bit of everything. And yeah, so there you go. Couple snazzy new additions to the Blu-ray SteelBook collection. Alrighty, that is it from me to you for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara.